Now, the amount of tip videos I've made in Apex Legends rivals anybody in the world, but at this point, I decided how could I up myself? How can I make even greater videos? And how can I make videos that not only appeal to beginner players, but intermediate players and advanced players who are not just looking for how to get their aim down or their movement right, but more wisdom, more tactical expertise that could help them improve? Well, given the fact that about 600 hours of gameplay has gone into my own Apex Legends career, I felt that I'd make a little bit of a celebration video to compile the 50 best tips and tricks that I could think of for Apex Legends players to improve and get their game to a higher level. So no matter what it is, a legend, a map, a gun, a situation, a mentality, an approach, how to rotate, all of these things will be covered in today's video, so you should be able to watch this and know exactly everything you need to know to become a great player in Apex Legends. Let's get started. Number 1, patience. You need to have patience in your ability to improve in Apex Legends. None of this will work if you just give up after day 1 or after game 1. Many people give up not only in gaming but in life. Right before they actually get to where they want to go, they turn around and say, it wasn't worth it, I didn't achieve my goals after all. If you stick with it and you stick with this list, you will become a better player, but that's number 1. Number 2, Pathfinder is busted in solos. Pathfinder is so ridiculous in solos, you will be killed by great Pathfinders all the time if you play, but it will make you a better player because you do have to figure out how to beat the beast. That is the top honcho in this mode, and of course if you don't know how to move, number 3 is Pathfinder's grapple trick. What it does is you basically have to grapple onto something and jump right as it connects. That way you get a little bit of air and your momentum actually from the grapple carries you in a very high velocity direction. This allows you to move very quickly over the map and allows him to be one of the best characters in the game. If you don't know how to do it, just check out a few Pathfinder guides. They've been made over and over again and cover the topic well. Number 4, the Mozambique is pretty good if you can find Hammepoint rounds. It will literally one-shot somebody with no shield, so stay on the lookout for those. 5, the P2020 can also use Hammepoint rounds and takes about 3 quick shots to finish off somebody with no shield, but it's still very efficient from long range as well and taking down somebody who does not expect to be bursted that quickly. Number 6, in the light ammo category, the R99 is king. It's the best weapon as far as burst, and also with an extended mag scales the best because it does so much damage so quickly and only suffers with a smaller magazine size. Number 7, the R301 is the second best light ammo weapon in the game and does well from both medium and long ranges, although it just did get a nerf to its recoil at a very long distance as it used to be too dang accurate. Number 8, just like Hammepoint rounds do extreme damage to people with no shield, Disruptor rounds take off shields very quickly and can only be used by 2 weapons, the Alternator and the RE-45. Number 9, of the 2, the Alternator is probably your best choice. It has a lot of range, it hits for very decent damage even without the Disruptor rounds, so you can use it as a pretty good weapon even if you don't have them yet. And since you burn shields so quickly, you basically force people to use their shield batteries a lot and you run them out of resources very fast in a fight. Number 10, the RE-45 is a good weapon, but it is a little underrated and will only be useful in certain situations, better up close than from afar. Give it a try, but it's probably not as good as any of the other 3 that I mentioned. Number 11, the Wingman, still pretty damn good. It's been nerfed several times, but is still the best weapon as far as a heavy category in the game, aside from maybe the Longbow. Number 12, the Longbow is the best sniper in Apex Legends, although the G7 Scout comes into the conversation at times in certain situations, as well as the triple take, but the Longbow has the most consistency. It's got the Skull Piercer rifle hop-up, which gives you extra bonus headshot damage, and it's got a very nice set of upgrades that can allow you to be lethal from many ranges, and also has a pretty decent hipfire as well. 13, the Flatline has actually gotten a buff to make it comparable to some of the other choices in the light ammo category, although it usually still gets beat. It's got a bit of a weird hipfire, but is very deadly and has a lot of potency per bullet, so if you hit your headshots, it will be devastating. Number 14, the Select Fire hop-up changes the Prowler to fully automatic instead of its usual 5-bullet burst. This actually ends up giving it a lot more presence in most fights and is a lot better from longer ranges or sustained pressure. 15, the Select Fire also works with the Havoc and gives you the only hit scan option in the game, although it's not really utilized because it takes a while to line up and usually another sniper is just better and a little bit more efficient. 16, the Havoc and the Devotion both use the Turbocharger as well in the energy weapon category and are beasts if you can find it. These weapons step up a tier in value if you do find that hop up, so make sure to keep it around if you see a lot of energy ammo and a couple of choices in that way. 17, Devotions are ridiculous if you could hit all your shots. It's got crazy recoil, so practice makes perfect, and if you do get perfect, you will win every fight. That weapon's ridiculous. However, it suffers from long range. 18, the Triple Take is an energy weapon sniper that is often underrated. It can function as a short-range shotgun, but also a long-range sniper, and if you get the precision choke, it can make it even more accurate from long ranges. 19, 19. Shotguns are still good, but it's not quite the same as they used to be. It used to be such a close range meta in Apex Legends, but now people play a little bit more mid-range, and even long range is more viable thanks to some of the more defensive characters stopping a lot of pushes that might have come in a more aggressive meta. 20. The Peacekeeper is still a great shotgun if you want to one-pump somebody for all their health or shoot them for 8 damage. Either one. 21. The EVA 8 is awesome if you want to hit 8 shots in a row very quickly onto someone with a shotgun, or if you want the experience of missing 8 shots in a row and feeling like you deserve to uninstall this game. 22. Don't be afraid to disengage fights. Sometimes it's better to put yourself in a good position to take a fight, and sometimes you just don't have the first shot onto someone. Why not take that fight in a better spot by running away, healing up, or at least disengaging from a fight, letting someone else run to the sound of bullets and third party your opponent. 23. Speed of play. Apex Legends is a pretty fast battle royale. If you're used to getting shot and then building a fort, you're probably going to have a rude awakening when you first play Apex Legends. The movement here is quick. The pacing is quick. Characters like Pathfinder can literally cross a map in half a second and be on you with a shotgun after bursting your shield. So you have to think quickly, and you have to move quickly as well. Part of it is getting the process of moving and doing all these things into your repertoire, into your unconscious stream of action, so that you don't have to think about it when you do it. But just understand that if you want to play a game that's quick, this is the one. 24. Be decisive when you use your meds. When you decide that you want to heal, heal. Don't be afraid to heal in a bad situation or behind a rock when someone is right on the other side, but just do it. Don't hesitate. Hesitation is often the thing that kills you in this game because it wastes the valuable time that you have. Remember about that speed thing? Yeah, so every second matters. If you choose to heal, heal. Do it in a safe spot and then move on. 25. Don't hesitate to push. If I break your shield and leave you with only 100 out of your potential 200 health left, and I've got 200 health myself with a full shield and full health, I should push you immediately. Why? Because you can only be doing 3 certain things. 1. You could be standing there healing where I left you. 2. You could be running away. 3. You could be standing there ready to fight, but I've got 50% more health than you. Either one of those situations, an advantage is in your favor. So continue to push when you get that advantage. It's ruthless, but that's a battle royale. 26. Get your inventory in order. Figure out what you want and how much you want of it. Whether it's 1 stack of shield cells, 1 stack of syringes, 1 stack of shield batteries, 1 stack of med kits, a Phoenix kit, ammos, and maybe a little bit of grenades. That's all you need. Make sure that's all you get, and don't hesitate it throughout the match. A lot of wasted time in this game is spent looting, and if you can solve that problem quickly with knowing what you want, you will be way ahead of your competition. 27. Loot quickly. If you're getting third-partied a lot, it's because you're probably looting too slowly. People hear gunshots, they run to them. Where the gunshots are is where the death boxes are, which is where you are looting way too long. So make sure you loot quickly and then start to move. Always stay rotating, that way you never are the one getting caught off guard. 28. Rotate early. If you want to win the game and you're a defensive legend, it's probably best to rotate early. That means you don't have to get caught out in the open as the circle is moving. If you don't have mobility as a huge part of your kit, like a Wraith or a Pathfinder or maybe Octane, it's a lot better to get into the spot and try to fight people who are coming in themselves, or to hold up into a building until you get a top 5. 29. Defensive legends are actually pretty good right now. That goes for solos, that goes for ranked, that's basically anything. 30. Caustic is the best defensive legend, and here's why. Caustic has the value of in solos being able to be more offensive with his Legends kit. He has the ability to throw that gas into rooms and also hold down rooms in the same way Wattson will, but it's also a lot more threatening when you do get hit by that gas. 31. The Fortify buff is one of the reasons Caustic and Gibraltar are so viable. Caustic and Gibraltar both received a buff called Fortify, which gives them 15% damage reduction. What this means is that it'll probably take you 1 more shot than usual to kill them, and for them, 1 less shot to kill you, which means that although you'll be able to hit them easier because they have bigger hitboxes, they may be able to finish you faster. Never underestimate a big boy. Now that's just life advice. 32. Wattson rules ranked though, and don't you forget it. 32. Wattson's fences are actually a little bit better than Caustic's as far as defending an area because they are harder to destroy because you can't see the bottoms of them while they're inside the room. You have to run into the room to usually shoot them, and that puts you in a very serious disadvantage, unlike Caustic's gas, who you may be able to find an angle on pretty quickly. 33, however, Caustic's gas can actually destroy Wattson's fences, if you didn't know that, so it's an interesting counterplay. 34, besides the defenses, Wattson is still most important because she can destroy projectile grenades, like thermites, like Arcstars, like anything, even from your own team. And this is why when she puts her fences up into a room and the only way to get in is to try to flush you out, there is no way to flush you out. If she's there, you're not getting in most of the time, and that's why she's the best in ranked play with teammates. 35, grinding Apex Legends ranked is pretty easy up until about Platinum, I would say. Then things start to get a little bit more intense. People start waiting around and it's very hard to get top 10s or top 5s. The point system allows it so that top 5s and top 10s, top 7s, top 3s are actually more important than getting kills, and thus there's a lot more camping at higher levels of play where people are risking more of their ranked points to even join a match and are worried about losing them. 36, several team compositions have proven to be the best in Apex Legends ranked. Pathfinder, Wraith, Wattson are a very strong combination of mobility, of team mobility, and also defensiveness when you need it. 37, some Apex Predators have actually mained Bangalore and used the smoke to their advantage. She's also extremely hard to catch and very good at causing distraction, which allows you and your teammates to get out of a tricky situation if you do get pinched. 38, the best item to use with Bangalore, if you can find it, is a digital threat. If you can offensively smoke onto a team, put them at a disadvantage, and then see them through that smoke with that attachment, you are in a great position to succeed. 39, cheats have either gotten a lot better or a lot more scarce, and I think it's a little bit of both in Apex Legends. There was a huge cheating problem in the beginning of this game, but now it seems to have gone away, or it seems to be a little sneakier. I've also heard TSM Vis talking about how there are cheats that you can actually use that will make you miss a few times to make it harder to detect. So maybe that's what's going on. But either way, the cheating epidemic that swirled around this game in the very beginning of launch is no longer a thing, at least in the very obvious manner that it was before. 40, movement is often more important than aim in this game. Now, aim is important, but if you don't get the basics of moving, you're probably going to lose way more fights than if you have decent aim but amazing movement. Slide jumping, slide shooting, slide reloading, and sliding into healing, even if you don't try to bunny hop, is actually still a very viable way to improve yourself drastically in Apex Legends. Again, I've gone over those in other tip videos, so make sure to check them out. However, I will say that they are very crucial in becoming a better player. 41, know the map. How do you expect to win a fight with a serial killer if you're inside the serial killer's own home? I know that's a little bit of a macabre reference, but I am just telling you the facts. I mean, if you don't know where you're fighting and someone else does, they're gonna have an advantage. So make sure you understand the map. Drop in different locations every single game until you know it like the back of your hand. That way you're never surprised by somebody hiding in a corner, hiding on top of a roof you didn't realize was there, or getting an angle on you that you should have gotten on them. 42, in gunfights, hip firing is extremely important in Apex Legends and probably way better than you think. Not only is it pretty accurate for most weapons, it gives you a lot more movement speed and a lot more flexibility in how you juke the opponent's shots. 43, the reason that is because different weapons have different aim down sight speeds and different hip fire speeds. Weapons like shotguns and the Wingman have nearly 100% same speed whether you're aiming down sights or moving with a hip fire, but different weapons like the R301 take significant reductions in speed if you try to aim down sights versus hip firing the weapon up close. It's the difference between a flying duck and a sitting duck, and I guarantee that if somebody has a shotgun, you'd probably rather be the flying duck. 44, confidence in your play. Here's an example. If somebody shoots you and takes off half your shield, they start to push you. The only way to actually get back into a position where you're even is to probably jump out and fire back, even though you are close to dying. If you try to heal, they'll just push you, you will be unarmed, and they will finish you off. But if you shoot them and take off their shield as well, you're back in an even state. Sometimes a player who feels like they've got a purple epic shield runs up to you and misses a few shots. If you run back up to them, even though you've got a white shield, it can throw them off. Confidence is a big part of this game, and a lot of times it's a mind game as well. Always feel like you've got the upper hand on your opponent, and even if you don't, that's okay, because number 45 is probably the most important thing. 45, learn from your own deaths. If you don't learn from your death, then you're doing it wrong. Every death you should try to write down something as to why you died. I actually heard Dizzy giving this information to a player who asked, how do I become better in Apex Legends? He said, write down how you died. Did you die with bad aim? Did you die with bad positioning? And look at that over the course of a day. At the end of the day, say, wow, there was 43 times I died by bad positioning, 20 times by bad aim, and so I realize now I've got to work on my positioning more than anything else. And one way to do it quickly and efficiently is to record your own gameplay for OBS. Hey, maybe you pop off, you get a great YouTube video, you never know where things start, but you can at least look at your gameplay and say, that's where I messed up, I'll do better next time. 46, mouse sensitivity. Get it right and then don't change it. A lot of people constantly change their mouse sensitivity, or they change the way that they try to play, whether it's wrist aiming with high sensitivity or arm aiming with low sensitivity, knocking bowls and water cups off of their desk. And the truth is, you should just basically keep it to where it is at and make sure it's comfortable. Make sure it's not something that feels really awkward at first, but then just keep adjusting to it. Your body needs time to incorporate it into its muscle memory, and if you keep changing it, that will never happen. 47. Warm up before you play. Play some training mode before you jump into a solos match, or play some normal Apex before you jump into a ranked Apex match. Whatever you do, don't expect to hop out of bed without taking a shower, putting water on your face, brushing your teeth, or even waking up halfway and then be the best player in the lobby. There are other players who have been playing for hours or are just really focused, and if you're not, why would you expect to win? It's the same thing if in a big meeting, in a big speech, or in a big athletic competition. You have to treat your body as if it needs to warm up a little bit and get to peak condition before it starts to compete. Exactly the same principle goes in Apex Legends. 48. Take a break. Sometimes this is the thing that I need to remember the most. I get really frustrated when I'm not actually performing the way I think I should, or the way I hoped I would on a stream or for a video that I'm recording. Yesterday was a great example of it. I would be doing really poorly, and then I'd decide, you know what, it's time to take a break. And that break often re-grounded me into what I was doing. It gave me a little bit of perspective. I realized what I was doing wasn't so big of a deal. I was pretty close to the mark, but I was just a little off in certain areas. And what do you know, I felt better and played better when I got back. Don't let the cycle of negativity start to get you down to where you're punching a monitor like Summit. Take a break, take a walk, have a cup of coffee or a cup of water, maybe some tea, maybe some food, and then come back to it. Trust me, you will have a new perspective and it won't be that big a deal when you get back. 49. Don't main one legend, play at least all the legends a few times. This will help you to understand what they can do to you, especially in your 1v1 matchups or in 1v1 matchups with other people. You can expect things, and that'll allow you to preempt and actually act accordingly, given the fact that you know what they're capable of in a situation. Playing against a Lifeline who's shooting you in a corner, well, you know she has to walk over to push you. If it's a Pathfinder, well, you know that he's got a little bit of a quicker gap close than some of the other legends. So as long as you know that, you'll be in a better position to respond. The 50th tip, the finale. How can I wrap this all up by giving one tip to kind of seal the deal? Let me give you a little bit of a quote that I found very important and powerful in our day and age. Don't compare yourself to where someone else is today. Compare yourself to where you were yesterday. Now, this has been a very eye-opening tool because I realized that in the age of social media, we're always looking at what other people have. We're always scrolling Instagram, seeing happy faces, watching videos and seeing 20 bombs and 4,000 damage, and we're expecting ourselves to be there, where they are today. But we don't know how they got there. All we know is that if we look at ourselves and we look at the last week, if we've been playing Apex and taking these tips into account, into our heart, and improving, then we're better than we were. We're on the right path. When I started this YouTube thing, I said, man, imagine if when I was 35, I could have 10 million subscribers and do this thing for real. Imagine. And I gave myself 10 years. 10 years, that's plenty of time. I mean, the fact that we're at nearly 300,000 subscribers now makes me feel good because I've still got 7 more years to keep on doing this before I even come close to hitting that. So give yourself some time to get better and get where you want to be. It's okay. The world is going to be waiting for you. When you're ready, you will show up and you will have some amazing moments yourself. Hopefully this video gave you those amazing tips and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like for the work that I put into it. Comment down below what you like or if you have any other tips you want to give to the audience, and subscribe. That's the best way to support me. Turn that notification bell on as well if you want more of my content quickly, and make sure YouTube recommends it to you. As always, never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.